This has even greater significance. But I was trying to make sense of it this morning. Obviously, Dallas initiated the call because they wanted to move on, or it feels like if the Lakers initiated it, Dallas would have gotten more, right? One first round pick, Anthony Davis. I mean, that's the guts of the deal. So why would Dallas do it? Well, the Adelson family, Miriam Adelson is the new owner. They may see the world differently. You have an NBA with stars, load management. Like the guy that shows up every night is LeBron James, right? That's old school. I mean, LeBron's dropping one of his better games of the year at Madison Square Garden. How old is he? 40? Almost. LeBron feels very old school, and a lot of current stars. What you look for is, am I going to get 70, 72 games a year? And you look at Luka, who missed all of training camp this year, I think most of it last year, hasn't played since Christmas, and the new owners are staring down the barrel of a $350 million max extension, which is minimum 4 years. And they're looking at it thinking, and I don't know how much NBA knowledge the Adelsons have, but the people in the building are looking around and thinking, I remember 3 years ago, and this was said regularly, Embiid is going to be championships. He's the next Shaq. He's the Shaq comp. And there were some injuries, but nothing to worry about. And he was kind of gifted an MVP when Jokic probably deserved his third straight. And Embiid now won't play back-to-backs. And so you look at Luka Dončić. I wouldn't have made the trade. But if you give me 3 firsts and Anthony Davis and another player, it makes more sense to me. He's playing about 65 games a year. Is that ever going to become more? That's what I'm getting now. And he's young. He's in his prime. Hasn't played since Christmas. Been out of the last 2 training camps. Conditioning concerns. And the Lakers are like, last 2 years, Anthony Davis, arguably best defender in the league. You put him with P.J. Washington, Kyrie Irving. You start looking around at that team, and you're like, for the short term, Dallas won the deal. Dallas can compete now, to me, for an NBA championship. They're a 500 team now. You get 80% of Luka's offense when he's playing, but you get much better defense, a rim protector, and a great scorer. So short term, Dallas has a roster that can compete with anybody. Short term, the Lakers don't. They'll be one of the worst defensive teams in the league now. They have got to go get a big, and they won't get a great one. So, that's the only way I can fathom you'd make this deal. But clearly it feels like Dallas initiates the deal. Otherwise, you just get more in return. And again, there is no NFL comp for this. I was thinking this morning, about, let's say Joe Burrow, who's great, an offensive machine like Luka, has had some injuries, more than one, never a conditioning issue, but had some injuries. And let's say you were staring down the barrel of a $350 million extension. And you say to yourself, well, I can get 2 or 3 firsts, another great player. That is not a move I would make either. But I get why the calls are made on injuries. These windows are short to get a great player in their prime, even for quarterbacks. Brady's the exception. I can see them looking at Luka and just saying, we have 4 years minimum. He's missing training camps. He doesn't come in great shape to begin with. He doesn't give you even 70 games. In a Western Conference Finals a couple years ago, I think it was 2022, he missed 3 games in that. And so you try to rationalize it, and they just got tired of it. Obviously, this is something that's been brewing inside the Mavericks for a long time. They didn't do this on a whim. It does feel with the trade deadline coming, there's a little panicky feel to it. But that's the only reason that makes sense. They just looked at injuries, conditioning, new owners, load management's becoming something I think a lot of owners, Mark Cuban sold a big percentage of this. They said it's for real estate, but I think Mark, the smartest people I've ever known or met tend to sell early before late. Maybe Cuban didn't like the feel Maybe it was for estate planning, but in real estate, in terms of the Lakers, you have to make this move. Haven't we talked about this for years? Is that, LeBron pretty much felt like he ran the franchise. I mean, they're going to draft Bronny. Everything kind of runs through Bronny. And according to multiple sources this morning, Brian Windhorst, I trust, Bronny did not know about the move. Dave McMenamin echoed that. LeBron James did not know about the move. Now, is that LeBron posturing so Anthony Davis doesn't think he got rid of him? I don't know. I'm just going to trust NBA reporters who have boots on the ground. But it does feel like a clear shift to J.J. Redick and Luka are the future of the franchise. I don't think the Lakers are going to be a great team this year. They're playing very well now, but playing well in the NBA in January and February just does not resonate later. A lot of teams play hard and play well now. It's a late April, May, and June league. So I think when I look at this move, I look at the Lakers and I think long term, they got a star in his prime who's got like 6 more great years left. And that's what they need. I mean, it does feel like, LeBron's sort of been pulling this franchise around. And, AD's like, we need another big. I don't want to play a 5. I want to play a 4. He's allowed to now do that more in Dallas. So it's a good fit for AD, and it's a good short-term fit. I mean, if you told me right now AD gave you 2 more totally healthy years, I think Dallas can compete for a championship for the next 2 years. I think Luka, LeBron, and a mediocre rim protector doesn't feel like a championship team to me. Let me throw this out there, though, because I think the Lakers ended up getting, their future. And I think AD is out of his prime, maybe a little, but not far out of it. Is that Anthony Davis, when he came to LA, people used to joke he was a dad bod. His conditioning was okay. He wouldn't play through injuries. I mean, I remember talking to an NBA executive, and Jerry West, the late Jerry West, had voiced concerns about, is he going to play through injuries? It's a long season. He's a big, it pounds on your body. There were concerns around like NBA from, executives about his durability and his willingness to play banged up, which you have to in pro sports at some point. And boy, the last couple of years being around LeBron, the LA lifestyle is different. I'm sorry, but it just is. I always joke with my wife, when I'm in Chicago or I'm out east, I eat differently. LA lifestyle is a thing. You're in the Staples Center. It's glamorous. LeBron is, uber dedicated. And it felt like LeBron had a real effect on AD's body, conditioning, work ethic, and dedication. Could LeBron have that with Luka? I think potentially. I think LeBron's he's the greatest basketball player many people believe ever. LeBron's level of dedication and ability to smartly, not manipulate, but move things in his direction. He's a convincing player, manager / coach, all those hats. He wears those. So would you get the best of Luka for about a 5 to a 6 game, or however long LeBron plays? I mean, you watch LeBron against the Knicks, LeBron's got more good years left. But it does feel like, to me, that J.J. Redick and Luka are kind of the future. You're going to keep LeBron. He'll probably stay around L.A. as business is doing well in Los Angeles. But the fact that they didn't have to give up a second first-round pick feels like a huge win for the Lakers. Not a win, but a huge win. And they get their superstar for the future. And it never felt like that with LeBron or AD. AD's a great player. I don't think he doesn't feel necessarily like a Kobe or a Magic or a LeBron. He's more in the Kareem mode where, he's a big, he can be kind of stoic, nice guy. But, the Lakers stars have always felt big personalities, big aura, kind of iconic. That's LeBron. And Luka has a bit of that feel because he's such a prolific scorer. So it's strange. I think Dallas needed to get more. This was clearly something that had been in the works for a while, and proving once again, if people don't want things out, it doesn't get out. I've said this for years. Stories get out because somebody wants them out. When you see big moves, like historic moves, Tom Brady to Tampa, That didn't happen in the last hour, right? Like that thing had been discussed. It doesn't get out, right? It doesn't get out. This didn't get out. So, who won the trade? Short term, I think Dallas is going to be a